My name's John Arnold, and welcome to The Practical Disciple. Whenever I ask people about the struggles they have with prayer and with reading Scripture and their discipleship in general, there are two common complaints that I hear, two common struggles that it seems like everybody goes through. The first is particularly in prayer, people just have a terrible time focusing. I think part of that is their lives are very stressful and they're cram-packed with all kinds of things. There are constant distractions to them. And the other thing that I hear a lot from folks is, I just wish I had the time. If I had the time, I would do it, but I can't seem to find it. So I'm going to share with you today a tool that I think is going to lessen your anxiety and some of the clutter in your life in terms of both time and physical space, and hopefully free you up to be able to focus on prayer and redeem some moments to spend with God. I think this will really help you in your general discipleship. It's going to make your life a lot better. All right, so what is that tool? I got it right here. This is a deck of cards I created for our family that I call a Chore Deck. And what happened is, about 2 years ago, I gave my son a list of things to do, and I found that if he had a list, he could really punch through them and get them done quickly. And we have constantly struggled as a family of four with young kids to just keep our house good, clean, and orderly. And what I did was I took all the things that needed to happen in our home to keep it clean, and I made a list, and I took each item on that list and put it on its own individual card. And I broke it down into really simple tasks. So for instance, rather than have, say, one card that says clean bathroom, the bathroom is really like 5 different cards. It's take out trash from the bathroom, bleach the toilets, wipe counters and mirrors, scrub the tubs, and mop. So any one of those in and of itself is just not a big deal to have to do. It's when you throw them all together and you feel like you've got to get them all done immediately that it starts to get overwhelming. And then when you multiply that to every room in the house, before you know it, you're just immobilized and don't want to do anything. So here's what I did. I made a list of everything. I took each item and I put it on a card. And our deck ended up, after I added in some special cards that I'm going to talk about in a moment, being 72 cards. That meant if every day all 4 of us took just 3 cards in 6 days, so in less than a week, we get 1 day off, everything in the house would get done. Didn't matter if it had to be scrubbed, vacuumed, washed, mopped, dusted, whatever. It all got done and then some, because I'll talk to you about some other things that are in the deck. Okay, so what are some of those special cards? I've got in here what we call wild cards. Wild card is a card where you look for a task and you do it. I put those cards in there because I see a lot of people frequently walk by things that are obvious that have to be done and they don't do anything about it. And I wanted my kids to be able to see what needed to be done and take the initiative to complete the task. So they take those cards and maybe they see something that isn't in the deck that's not normal, like say vacuuming our den. Give you a good example. Right after Christmas, we had taken down all our decorations, but the boxes were sitting all over the place. I got a wild card one day, so what did I do? I used it to take time to put away all of the boxes. Simple thing, needed to be done. A wild card prompted me to do it. It also helps the kids look beyond the normal stuff. Another card in there that I added, which is not your normative cleaning thing per se, are 10-minute tidy cards. This is one of my favorites because in a house with a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old, and 2 very busy working parents, it's really easy for clutter to stack up in our home rapidly. You know, mail sitting on the counter, shoes that got kicked off in a book bag laying here, stuff like that. It just seems to stack up pretty quickly. The 10-minute tidy card is just like it sounds. You set a timer for 10 minutes, you run around, you pick stuff up, put things away where they should be. I put about, oh, I don't know, a half a dozen or so of those in the deck, and that means over the course of a week, we spend an hour picking things up, but we don't ever even really think about it as spending any time, because you never have to do them more than 10 minutes at once. I have another card in there, special card called a Saket Card. The Saket Card is designed to keep excess in our lives down to a minimum. It's kind of like a cluttered diet. Because when you draw the Saket Card, what you do is you go in your room or closet or out in the garage or go through a desk drawer, whatever. You go through some place where it needs some weeding out. And you bag up, take a grocery sack, you bag up something that needs to either be thrown away, or a lot of times we donate it to like a thrift store, or maybe we know someone who would benefit from it and we give it to them directly. But the Saket Card helps us to regularly go through the things we own, consider who might be able to use it or whether we need to keep it, and to let go of it and be done with it. There are also some things that don't necessarily have to do with cleaning rooms, but they're really important for just daily maintenance of life. So I have cards in there for help with dinner, help with laundry, help dad pay bills. I put the help dad with bills card in there because I wanted my kids to know just how much it costs to live. I wanted them to know what utilities cost, our mortgage, and those kind of things, so that they'd have some appreciation for it. My son, when he was just 10 years old, got to write his very first check. And his very first check was a mortgage check, and it was over $1,000, and all I did was sign it. And then he recorded it in the check register, so now he knows how much housing costs, how to write a check, and how to record it properly. Those are really good skills to have. We also have in the deck day off card. The day off card, when you draw it, everybody else has to draw another card. And they work for you, and you get to sit around and watch. And that's kind of fun. But to be fair to everyone, there's a special rule around the day off card, and that is you can't get the day off card until everyone in the family has got it. That seems only fair for the whole family. Now, before I go, I want to tell you about the advantages I've seen since we put the card deck in place. First off, it's fair. Everybody does everything. Because everybody does everything, my kids know how to do everything, and that's awesome. And the stress relief is amazing. The general order of our house is far better, and I realize that when I come through the door, all I have to do is my 3 things, and that's it. If I do those 3 things, I can sit down and forget about it, and everything will get done by the end of the week. I'll never forget the time we got a phone call from someone who wanted to spend the night with us, and we were out of town. Well, actually, we were about an hour away, and they were going to get there before us. We didn't stress over it. Before, we probably would have been a panic as to what kind of state the house may be in. But instead, my wife just said, here's where the key is. The house isn't perfect, but it's clean. Go and make yourself at home. Wow, what a relief. Well, there you have it. You can redeem time, eliminate anxiety, and have a cleaner, more orderly atmosphere to live in. And that alone reduces a lot of stress. And all those things add up to more time you can use in prayer, scripture reading, or just being a better disciple. Well, listen, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Once again, my name is John Arnold, and you've been watching The Practical Disciple. Blessings to you.